Can I take a break from my relationship? I know that you think the answer is going to be no, but it's not. How can we expect two people to simultaneously change throughout a course of life and just be okay with it? Spoiler, they're not. But before we continue, I think we need some tea or something. What's funny is that I'm filming this on the same day that it is my 3rd year anniversary with my girlfriend. So, great topic, great timing. We got some tea. It's gonna be too hot to drink. Not bad. Ooh, cold 911. Feels so good. But yeah, 3 years. That's a long time. And there's also a lot of times in that a lot of people don't share with their relationships on the internet. And I'm obviously going to keep mine a little bit private as well. But there's times in there that things get worrisome. You know, you're on this path that you think to be the same, but we're two human beings in this very big world. We just happen to be together while living. I apologize for all the beeping outside if you can hear that. There's construction everywhere. I live in Ottawa, which is, there's 2 seasons. Winter and construction. So here we are, construction season. With that being said, there's a lot of stuff that changes throughout life, like construction. Like my black tape. No free promo here. To be completely honest, in my relationship, there's been a lot of scares. There's been a lot of terrifying moments. There's been a lot of moments where you're thinking, wait, is this it? Is this correct? Is this the way that I should feel? Is this the way that you feel? Do we feel the same? We feel like we're meant to be together, but what? There's always going to be questions. Because if there wasn't, I think that would be a pretty boring life. But I digress. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Joey. If you're new here, I make self-improvement videos on YouTube, talking about advice on your relationship or in your life or just your day-to-day human being and the problems and the thoughts that we make. Because I talk about the things that stress me out. I talk about the things that stress you out, make you sad and make you uncomfortable. And what's weird is that those things interest me. It's always so weird when I say that. But I love hearing about people and knowing that we're not at all alone in this massive world. And I like to add a little bit of poetic vibe to these videos, so if you enjoy that, please subscribe and join along. Let's have a friendly chat. When the word break is said in a relationship, the first thing that we think of nowadays is Ross and Rachel from Friends. How poorly that was executed and how damaging it was to a relationship and a friendship. And when I personally think about taking a break while in a relationship, I think about this one time someone told me on a first date. The girl I was on a date with said, my mom approached my dad for a break because she felt that she needed to discover herself in that stage of life that she was in. After being in love, engaged, pregnant, and living in the same household, a mother, living life as a wife, she felt that she needed to rediscover herself. And she felt that she grew, but she didn't have a chance to understand why or how. So she left for 6 months, gone. And I know you're hearing this story, you're like, God, that sounds awful. If someone came to me and said that, I would be gone. I would be breaking down on the ground, crying, this person wants to leave me, I'm done. And I'm sure the father was. But I'm also sure that the father was like, okay, if I want the mother of my children to be happy, and to be in this life with me, or in this life at all, she's got to do this. And so I know this doesn't sound traditional to you, but we're in the age of 2022. Nothing is traditional anymore. So hear me out. She came back after 6 months. She didn't just flee away. And they spoke to each other like it was their first date. Asking all these new questions and filling in the gaps on all the things that they've missed. It was like not only that she rediscovered herself, but they rediscovered their relationship. Now, they didn't speak on any of the relationships that she or he may have had during that time, or the people that they met or anything. That was off limits. However, I don't know all the details, of course, but I do know that till this day, they are together and happier than ever. And so are their kids. Now, there's a lot to be said here. There's a lot of questions. Like, is the father hiding his emotion? Does he actually just hate her? And there's so much regret and remorse and everything, and he's just hiding all of his questions, maybe.
I'm fine. You know what we should do?
Calm ourselves?
Because to be honest with you, you nor I will ever know. Nor will probably the person that I went on a date with. But I think about this story every single time a break in a relationship is mentioned because it reminds me that we change a lot. How differently we can change even when we're surrounded by the people that love us and the people that we love. And one of the thoughts that comes up in my head a lot is that the person that you are dating right now will not be the same person in 20 years. Will not be the same person in 5 years. So the person that you are marrying will change. That can be scary to some, but to me, I think that's amazing because I know that I'm going to change in 20 years. I know that I will change after I'm married, after I have kids, after I go through different stages of life. Because if I'm the same kid as I was in 16, then I'd be hiding energy drinks from my mother. I'd be making stupid decisions. I still make stupid decisions, but a little more mature like. Now, I for one get really inspired by friends, music, movies, and my own dreams. And some of those things involve traveling, being away, or being alone. So I think the important message here is to be comfortable with communicating with your partner. It's not just talking about, hey, we need to communicate more. Well, no shit. We all need to communicate more. But communicating about communicating is not communication. It's a statement. It's not a thought. It's not a feeling. It's not about just taking 6 months off, then going to Hawaii, and then coming back and just rejoining your family and your life. It's about understanding your emotions, understanding why you feel them, and including your loved ones in that process. Ooh. I feel like we got some bars going. Now, if you're watching this and you're wondering, okay, well, how do I know if I need a break? Well, I got 2 things for you. 1, if you're thinking about it, then I think it's worth the extra thought because it's on your mind for a reason. There's no me or anyone in the comments. Please leave a comment, share your opinion on how you feel about this. But there's no anyone other than you that's in there with you. No one can be in here and read your thoughts and understand them and tell you the right answer. That's you. And 2, it might be something that you want to explore if you feel trapped or plateaued in a relationship. But I also want to remind you that the relationship is what you want. Now, it might not be everything as to what you wanted. There may be some, scary things happening. And obviously, I don't know your relationship. But a relationship in a whole is what a lot of us dreamed of. And we get scared when there's that plateau. We get scared when it gets a little boring. We get scared when there's nothing interesting. But what's interesting is chaos. And chaos is when somebody does something wrong to you. And that's something that none of us want, but all of us seem to be missing. And so maybe because it's plateaued, maybe because it's a little boring, maybe that's not the worst thing. And we feel a spark when we go on first dates because it's something new, it's something fresh. But what's hard about relationships is that when it gets a little boring, you have to recreate that spark or create a whole new spark. And that's why it takes work, but it's worth it sometimes. And you see, all of these things that we have talked about today are conversation starters. They are not something that you just realize and then know yourself and then go off and take a break. They are things to communicate with. Open the conversation with your partner. Don't just have a one-sided one with yourself. Because remember, Ross and Rachel do end up together at the end of the show. That's it. There's your answer. No, I'm not saying you got to take a break. I'm not saying it's for everyone. I'm not saying it's not for anyone. I'm just saying that's it. I'm just saying. Imagine if that was the video. Hey, breaks. What about them? Forget about it. Hey, breaks. What are you doing? Love is just never this one and done thing. Okay? It is not a question and an answer. It is not a one-part solution, and it's not a YouTube video. We are changing every single day in our lives, and sometimes our loved ones are changing in a little bit different direction than we are. Now, it doesn't mean that your love is over, but it might mean it's time to renegotiate on how you love each other. And it might take some time apart to really understand how that works, how you want to be loved, how they want to be loved. How can you love them the way that they want to be loved by you? And I'm not saying that you need to take a break in order to do this, because some couples are in a great, strong place together and they're able to work together through the process. But just because you can't while being together doesn't mean you're not strong. It's strength to get you to realize that and to keep working for it. So whatever you and your partner choose, that's a strong conversation you've already had. But I want you to hear me when I say this. I personally believe that it's naive to believe that one person remains the same for the rest of their life. Because that's the beauty about life and love, isn't it? Watching someone become who they have always meant to be, even if you're not there to witness it. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope this provided you some insight. These are just my thoughts going into a camera, and I appreciate you for being here. Breaks, huh? How about them? Stay you, stay beautiful. I'll talk to you later. Clink.